So, Ethereum has been the talk of crypto for quite some time, and more specifically the Ethereum upgrade. And today, that's what this video is going to be based on. And just talk about some of my own thoughts and opinions towards the Ethereum upgrade as well. So, sit back, relax, and enjoy. So firstly, I want to sort of talk about the difference between what proof of stake is and what proof of work is, because that's one of the biggest changes that's going to happen with the Ethereum upgrade. Proof of work is something like Bitcoin and Ethereum at the moment. Proof of work is just a way of validating the ecosystem and securing the ecosystem. In this system, miners use machines' processing power to solve complex mathematical puzzles. Once these puzzles are completed, they'll verify new transactions. The first miner to solve a puzzle adds a new transaction to the record of all the other transactions that make up the blockchain. They are then rewarded with the network's native cryptocurrency. However, the biggest issue with this is that there's a big waste of electricity and just mining power, because if you haven't completed it, you don't get a reward for it, you know, if you're not the first to do it. So it's basically just power hungry. It's a bunch of people that are trying to make their machines as powerful as possible so they can be the first to solve the puzzles. So you can see that there's a lot of just wastage there. And then we're going to talk about proof of stake, which is the sort of the better option. And proof of stake is completely different to this. Instead of miners, users can just stake their cryptocurrency, and through doing that, they become validators. Validators are similar to miners in the fact that they verify transactions and ensure the network isn't processing fraudulent transactions. But you're just not using, you know, your hardware to achieve this sort of thing, or you're not using as much hardware and power. So what's the real idea behind this Ethereum upgrade? I'd say mainly it's to enhance the speed and sort of scalability and efficiency of the Ethereum network, just so it can actually process more transactions per second. At the moment, it can't produce that many. But technically, I mean, Ethereum 2 doesn't even exist anymore. They wanted to change the name, or the foundation decided they wanted to change the name, and instead they wanted to call it the consensus layer. But the name F2 is kind of stuck anyway. I think everyone still refers to it as that. Ethereum 1 is now known as the execution layer, where smart contracts and the network rules reside, while Ethereum 2 is referred to as the consensus layer, which ensures that devices contributing to the network are acting in accordance to its rules. There are multiple phases to this upgrade, and the first one's already been done, and that's called the beacon chain. It was completed back in December of 2020, and this upgrade introduced the native staking into the Ethereum blockchain. At the moment, it's a separate blockchain from the Ethereum mainnet, so you've probably seen already that you can already stake Ethereum into the Ethereum 2 pool through the likes of Coinbase and multiple exchanges. The second phase is called the merge. This was actually expected to take place in June this year, which is great to hear because it's been so long since we've heard of like a full release date. And then they've actually pushed that back, I think this week or last week. They decided they were going to push it back even further. So it's expected to be around Q3/4 of this year. But basically, this will merge both of the chains together, and it will get rid of the proof of work concept. This means that the electricity required to actually run the Ethereum network will be decreased by 99%, which is huge. The last phase required to complete this upgrade is the shard chains upgrade. This will heavily play into increasing the scalability side of Ethereum. Instead of settling all transactions through one blockchain, you can basically split it up into 64 shard chains. So think of it as something maybe like you go into work and you use the same road every single day. Sometimes it's absolutely rammed full of people trying to get through, and then other times it's dead, just depending on what time of day. You can think of a blockchain as the same sort of thing, and you've seen Ethereum sometimes can get really bad traffic where the gas fees are just skyrocketing and it can't process enough transactions, and it just takes too long to, you know, go through. But when you split something up into 64, you can think of it as 64 new lanes for you to travel in. So it definitely increases the scalability and the transactions per second as well. So yeah, it just means it's going to be easier from a hardware perspective to actually run an Ethereum node, because there's far less data to be stored on a machine. This last upgrade is expected to take place in 2023, which is still a little bit far away. And because one's been delayed, I feel like the other might get delayed as well. So in terms of the scalability upgrade that I mentioned before, the current Ethereum network can support around 30 transactions per second, and this causes delays and congestion, like I said before. But Ethereum 2.0 promises up to 100,000 transactions per second, so that increase is just ridiculous. Most proof-of-stake networks have a small set of validators, which makes for a more centralized sort of chain and less network security. But Ethereum 2.0 requires a minimum of 16,384 validators, making it much more decentralized and more secure. If you wanted to actually stake your Ethereum, there are a couple of ways that you can do this. Firstly, there's solo staking. This gives you the max APY rewards, but you need a minimum of 32 Ethereum to do this, which is quite a lot. I think it's just over 100,000, depending on the time that you see this. It's the most complicated way of doing it as well, because you need to run hardware 24/7 and you need to maintain it as well. And if this hardware goes offline, you do receive like fines or penalties as well, which are paid in Ethereum. So it's quite a complicated way of doing it. You can do something else called staking as a service, which also requires 32 Ethereum to take part in, but you don't have to maintain any hardware. Instead, your 32 Ethereum is staked via a third party instead, so they're the ones that run the hardware, and it's just a small fee for that. So it's definitely preferred if you don't want to run your own hardware 24/7. The other thing you can do is pooled staking if you don't have the 32 Ethereum. You can combine your Ethereum with other holders to obtain a total of 32 Ethereum. And this is to activate a set of validator keys. It essentially allows you to deposit any amount of Ethereum into a pool. And the rewards for that are then paid out after the fees are taken from the node operators. So yeah, it's a much more simple way of staking. And then there's the other one, which is using an exchange as well, which is probably the one that will yield you the least rewards, I would say. So we'll go through some sort of key takeaways from the Ethereum upgrade. Ethereum will stay as the same coin, so there's no need to worry about having airdrops of new coins or having to send your existing tokens out. Ethereum will stay the same, so you don't need to do anything with it. And then moving from proof of work to proof of stake. So yeah, proof of stake just being much more efficient, can handle more transactions per second, much better for the environment, all of that sort of stuff. I think that's good though, because it means that these large institutions could buy Ethereum without the backlash of people saying it's super inefficient and bad for the whole planet. They can actually buy it knowing it's more of a greener technology and blockchain. I think the price of Ethereum is going to do well during this upgrade and hopefully after the upgrade as well. Having high scalability means higher transactions per second, which means more users can use it without having to pay so much in gas fees. And with it being more eco-friendly, people that might have been worried about that in the past no longer have to be worried about buying something like it. They can happily buy it knowing that it's fine for the planet, because 99% decrease in the electricity usage is very good. I think that more people can actually stake Ethereum as well, as it's a lot cheaper than trying to mine it. You're paying a lot of electricity costs trying to mine it, so for a lot of countries it's not even worth mining. I think for the UK you're very on the borderline if you're trying to mine. I'd been looking at doing it in the past and just decided not to bother. But staking it, I can just click a button and it's done, so much easier. When I was actually doing my research on the Ethereum upgrade, about 11.5 million Ethereum was staked already, which is just under 10% of the total supply. I think this is going to rise over time, which in turn should increase the price as well, because you're basically locking up tokens that would otherwise be traded. So it's going to create more of a demand, I would have thought. In terms of gas fees, the merge phase that's coming soon, in not June anymore, but Q3/4 of this year, I don't think that's going to solve the gas fees, just because that should be coming in the last phase. This is more just merging the chains together, but it's not going to increase the scalability yet. So when the sharding phase happens and you've got 64 shard chains, that's when gas fees should be solved or should be a lot lower. I don't think it'll ever be as good as Solana fees or just other chains, but it will be severely decreased. I hope. I suppose time will tell for that sort of thing. Yeah, I'm excited to see where Ethereum's going to go. I think once this upgrade's sort of gone through, what I don't want is people to just think that this next phase of an upgrade that's happening this year is going to completely solve the gas fees. I don't think it's going to make a difference. I think we're going to have to wait until sort of the end of 2023 if the upgrade happens at that time to actually see the gas fees reduce. But in terms of large institutions, maybe buying Ethereum a little bit more, just knowing now that there's not going to be the backlash that they might have received before, I think that's a good start. And I think that more people are staking. Like I said before, there's going to be less supply, so even better. I'm holding Ethereum. I'm just hoping it does well. I've always preferred Ethereum, I think, to Bitcoin, just because there's so much more you can do with Ethereum in terms of it being almost like an app store for everything else. Yeah, I definitely see it doing well, and I feel like an upgrade like this is only going to help it. I hope you enjoyed the video today. Rather quick video, I'd say, just outlining the Ethereum upgrade. And it was literally, as I was making the video, the decision was made to actually move the date a bit further. So I thought it was a perfect time for me to do it. If you enjoyed it, then please leave a like, comment, subscribe, notification bell, all of that stuff. It's all in the description below. Yeah, that's everything. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.